nobody on this road that can save your soul. Almost lost control now. Tell me what you need in a friend and now. Pray that we endure to the end again. I'm just saying that I'm here for you. When the world turn against you, I'ma be with you. Got my sword in my hand, you can count on me. I won't run and hide, fight mightily.
Waiting on your house shot. See the Jacob, I'm the apple of my father's eye. I learned the truth for who I was and it made me cry. If I don't keep the laws of Yah, then I'm gonna die. Living curses, but I'm edifying in my verses. Prepare the hearses for the heathens who'll be steady learning.
God, all praise to the Most High, Yahbashim Yahushai. Another man of Mondays through the Spirit. Man, tell y'all this, all praise to the Most High. These days are flying. Time, the Most High is making the time shorter. I'm gonna get this Romans really quick because man, time is flying, y'all. Every day I look up, it's another day. All praise to the Most High. It used to be when I was in the world that seemed like days would go short. I mean, the days were long. You know what I mean? It would be a lot of time in between the day and the next day. It seemed like days kind of damn near went on forever. Now the Most High is making the time shorter. And that's something that's comforting as well if you in the truth through the Spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, because we know that it was prophesied that the Most High, for the elect's sake, would make the days short, right? Would shorten the days, all right? And we're going to get that too. Matter of fact, I'm going to get that now. Let's get the book of Matthew, chapter 24 and verse 22. And except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. Now, what is Yahweh Shah saying here when he say, but for the elect's sake? Well, you got to think about this. So much evil is in the world. So much evil is waxing mightier and mightier. Evil is increasing. So if the Most High God didn't make the time shorten, the days shorten, right? The periods shorten, then nobody will be saved. And we know that nobody goes into that, no flesh goes into none of Israel, will be saved. Everybody would be corrupted. And they'd be corrupted by society. They'd be corrupted by their thoughts, right? They'd be corrupted just by the world and what goes on. So as we see that these days are being shortened, we have to examine ourselves and see where we are with things as well. I'm going to get this Romans 13 and 11. Romans 13 and 11. And that knowing the time, that now it is high time to awake out of sleep. Now, this is going into a couple of things. You know, when somebody is in sleep, normally that's when dreams come, right? And dreams will have you in all different types of situations. You know, you might have one dream and the next moment that dream may turn into something else. You have people who are in a dream, and next thing you know, you might be talking to a certain person, and then you look this way, and that person turns into somebody else in different situations. But the point of the matter is dreams aren't real. And a lot of people are walking around asleep in this dream world, and they don't understand what's really going on. The Most High has turned them over into a reprobate mind and has given them a strong delusion that they actually believe the lies of what's going on in the world. 2 Thessalonians 2 and 11. And for this cause. See, the Most High God has a cause for everything he does. It's not just happenstance. You know, they say on a humbug. The Most High God does not work on a humbug, right? So everything that is going on, right, you got to realize that the Most High God has a purpose for all things. So if you're experiencing certain calamities in your life, if you're experiencing certain hardships, right? And you kind of like, okay, what the hell is going on? Are you being diligent? What are you doing? Right? And you got to be comforted through the precepts to know and to understand that the Most High God will never give you more than you can bear. Salakia, the Most High God will never give you more than you can bear. So we want to get into a couple of comforting scriptures because you don't want to be turned over to a strong delusion that you believe the lies of the world. And that's why the Most High God, for the elect's sake, and Lord willing, we are part of that hopeful elect, is making the time short. We're going to get to classic Psalms 23. So Lord willing, through the spirit and power of the Most High Yahweh Shem Yahushai, want to bring out this Manna Monday to give y'all some armor, to give you some comfort. No matter what you're going through, it could always be worse. And we got to realize that the Most High God, if we put our rest in him, that no matter what you're going through, Lord willing, you're going to get through, right? It's the book of Psalms, chapter 23 and verse 1. A psalm of David. The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want, right? So when you think about a shepherd, let's get this real quick. I feel like I'm going to sneeze too, so slack it, y'all. But when you think about a shepherd, what does a shepherd do, right? Let's look at this. Shepherd duties. The duties of a shepherd, look, it says, a shepherd's role is to oversee a flock of sheep. Now remember, the Most High God likens us, as far as the children of Israel, as the sheep, right? And we're going to get that as well real quick. I'm going to get it in Jeremiah 50 and 17, right? Look at this real quick. It's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 50 and verse 17. Israel is a scattered sheep. The lions have driven him away. All right. First, the king of Assyria have devoured him. We know he was in captivity in Assyria. And last, this Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, have broken his bones. And we know that was another captivity we went through in the Babylonian captivity, which right now we're in the modern day Babylon in America, right? Even if you're in a different country and you're an Israelite, chiefly the so-called white man, the Babylonians, America is that top nation. Now we know America's position is dwindling and falling down, but still they're that top nation in trade, commerce, military might, powers and things of that nature. And therefore, thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, behold, I will punish the king of Babylon and his lands as I have punished the king of Assyria. And I will bring Israel again to his habitation. So when you think about a shepherd and the duties of a shepherd, the duties of a shepherd is to protect the flock. Even if the flock end up falling into the hands of, predators, for lack of a better word, it's actually the duty of that particular shepherd to go and rescue those sheep, right? To go and rescue those flocks. And we even see that. I want to get this account in 1 Samuel, the 17th chapter. I think I want verse 34, right? Let's get to the point. And we even see the mighty King David, what he did. 1 Samuel 17 and 34. And David said unto Saul, thy servant kept his father's sheep. So David was a shepherd, which is parabolic in a similitude to Yahushua as well, especially being from the mighty line of David, of the kings of Judah, right? The seed line of Judah. Through the spirit, we see that Yahushua is the master shepherd, just how David as a little boy was a shepherd, right? And David said unto Saul, thy servant kept his father's sheep, and there came a lion and a bear and took a lamb out of the flock. I'm going to go to this next verse. And I went out after him and smote him and delivered it out of his mouth. And when he arose against me, I caught him by his beard and smote him and slew him. So you see, the Most High God likens Israel unto the sheep. And a shepherd is going to not only protect the sheep from danger, but if those sheep fall into the hands of a predator, of a predator and become prey, it's that shepherd's duty not to run the other way, but it's that shepherd's duty to go and grab and get that sheep, right? Didn't Yahweh Shai say, 1 second, let me get this quick precept, right? I'm gonna get Luke 15:4. And what man of you, having 100 sheep, if he lose one of them, doth not leave the 99 in the wilderness and go after which is lost until he find it? And when he hath found it, he layeth it on his shoulders, rejoicing. And when he cometh home, he calleth together his friends and neighbors, saying unto them, rejoice with me, for I have found my sheep which was lost. I say unto you that likewise joy shall be in heaven over one sinner that repenteth, more than over 99 just persons which need no repentance. So we see that time and time again, the Most High likens through parables, right? Through similitudes, through actual accounts, he likens the children of Israel as his sheep. Now let's get back into Psalms 23. So Psalms 23:1, the Lord Yahweh is my shepherd, I shall not want. So when we go back into these duties of a shepherd's role is to oversee a flock of sheep, ensuring their safety and well-being by providing food, water, and shelter, while also protecting them from predators and other dangers. The job requires vigilance, courage, and commitment to guiding the flock to good grazing land and leading them to market for events like shearing. In a metaphorical or religious context, a shepherd also provides guidance, teaches, and cares for the spiritual needs of a community. So we see when we go into the Psalms 23, Salakia, and it says, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. That is comforting because the Most High being that master shepherd, that ultimate shepherd, the most powerful shepherd over his sheep, because we know this Lord right here is Yahweh in the Tetragrammaton, the YHWH, the Yahweh, right? Which is the Most High. So what could you possibly want or desire when you have the master sheep? It's like the master shepherd protecting you in all things. Way more mightier than David. Way more mightier than even Yahweh Shah is Yahweh protecting us as his sheep. And when you think about want, let's go into this word real quick. Want. I shall not want. Look, to lack, need, be lacking, to decrease. So you shall not lack anything, right? You shall not lack anything. What can you be lacking if you have the Most High on your side, right? Doesn't the scripture say, if the Most High is for us, right, who can be against us? Let me grab this real quick. And it's Romans 8. It's the book of Romans, chapter 8 and verse 31. What shall we then say to these things? If God be for us, who can be against us? So once again, that should bring you some comfort, whatever you're going through, that the Most High God is for you. Who can be against you? But you got to understand this. If the Most High God is for us as the nation of Israel, right? But a lot of the times we are against him. All right. We are against him. How are we against the Most High? Our actions are not, our actions are actually opposite to the things that he requires of us. Our mentality, our mind state is bad. We wait until we get into some type of traumatic or turmoil in order to call on the Lord, which is all praise to the Most High. You got to call him, right? But the Most High God is for us, but we be against him. So we got to correct our way of thinking. We got to correct the way that we engage, in the way that we got to correct our sincerity. You know, think about this. Think if you was in a relationship, right? And your significant other only came to you when they wanted or needed something. How long would that relationship last? You'd be damn irritated. Like, kind of looking at them crazy. Like, I mean, it really wouldn't be crazy if you think about it, but you're kind of looking at them like, here they go again. Hi, baby. What you want now? You kind of damn pick up the phone, all right, what you need? No, okay, all right. They're always just asking for something. Hey, they don't never come offering anything to you. They never come comfort you. Hey, they never come spend time. Hey, they don't follow any of the ordinances of sanctity in your relationship, but they always asking you for something. That relationship is that it's not gonna last, and that is an unhealthy relationship. So we want to think about these things when we reflect on the Most High. What are we contributing to the marriage? Right? Are you a deadbeat in a relationship? Are you unreliable? Where's your loyalty? Right? Where's your consideration? Are you compassionate? Hey, where's your love? Where's your patience? All of these different quantities and attributes. Let me get this real quick. What are good attributes in a relationship? Let's see this real quick. A good relationship is built on mutual respect. A lot of us, we don't have mutual respect when it comes to the Most High. We want him to comfort us, but we don't do things that deserve comfort, if that makes sense. Mutual respect means I respect you in an equal way that you respect me, right? Open communication and trust between partners. You got to be able to trust the Most High. A lot of times we get in relationships in the physical world and we put our trust in men. We put our trust in women. But then you don't put your trust in the Most High. And that relationship goes bad and you caught out there. And now you backtracking. Hey, nobody likes to be the so-called, what do you say? The second choice, the second pick, the consolation prize, right? Nobody wants to be the second pick in a relationship. Well, you know what? I'm gonna date you because I couldn't get the woman I want. I couldn't get your best friend that I try to shoot down. So you know what? What's good? What's up with you, girl? She gonna be looking at you. Well, most women, some women is about that life, right? But just you getting a similitude is like, who really wants to be the second choice? Now think about that with your relationship with the Most High. Does he want to be the second choice? So if you expect comfort out of the Most High, right, you have to understand your relationship with the Most High. Let's read on. Let's get this. I'm gonna go back into this Psalms, and I'm gonna read to verse 4. Right? He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. And once again, this is similitudes of the Most High being that master shepherd and Israel being his flock. And when you think about lying down in green pastures, look at this real quick. When you think about lying, let me see, sheep in green pastures, I want you to notice something. When these sheep are lying in green pastures, they're in a state of comfort. They're not in a state of fear. When a sheep is in a state of fear, the whole flock normally gets together, or the herd will try to run out, right? So when a sheep is laying down in a green pasture, notice it has sufficient grazing, it has sufficient food that it needs. It has safety, security, protection, comfort, right? So when we see the similitude of the Most High allowing us to lie down in green pastures, leadeth me beside the still waters. They say still waters run deep. When you break that down, water is a source of of life, of vitality, of refreshment, right? You'll die if you don't have water. If you go out without water for X amount of days, I think it may be like 3 days, 7 days, not 3 days. I think maybe like 7 days or more. I don't know. But let me see this real quick. Let's get it real quick. How many days can you live without water? Bam. All right. The human body can typically survive without drinking water for 3 to 5 days. However, this time frame can vary depending on factors such as age, health, activity level, and climate. So the point of the matter is, the fact of the matter is that he leadeth me beside the still waters. This is a similitude of showing you that the Most High God is leading you to nourishment, to refreshment, right? To a place that your physical health depends on, right? Going back into the nurturing and the love of the shepherd, right? He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. You got to remember this. The Most High God, right, swear by his name. Let me get this quick precept right quick. In Psalms 106, right? It's the book of Psalms, chapter 106 and verse 8. Nevertheless, he saved them for his name's sake, that he might make his mighty power to be known. So the Most High God already has his own agenda. He's omniscient, omnipotent. He created, doesn't it tell us in the book of Isaiah, he created the end from the beginning? So when the Most High God is leading me in the path of righteousness for his name's sake, peep this. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me, thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. You got to believe that. These Psalms aren't things just to read and you don't really believe it. You have to believe this, right? And you got to internalize it. So when you're going through things, you have to understand that there is a possibility for the Most High to fight your battles. But in order for that to happen, right, there's things that you have to do. There's prerequisites. All right, let's get that word real quick. Prerequisite. Right now, normally this word is used in the context. Mostly, I hear it of like of schooling. Like if you're in college, you know, you have certain classes that, right, in an educational framework that you have to take to qualify before you take other classes. Like you might have math 101. You got to take that before you can take math 102. You might have algebra, let's say. You got to take algebra as a prerequisite before you're qualified in understanding and knowledge to be able to take trigonometry. So that's normally when you hear the context of the word prereq or the framework of the word prerequisite used, right? Prerequisite, a noun, a thing that is required as a prior condition for something else to happen or exist. So the Most High God has prerequisites for you if you want to ensure, Lord willing, that you're protected and that you're in his good graces. Let me put it that way. Now we do know that the Most High, we read in the book of Romans, the 9th chapter, that the Most High has mercy on who he wants to have mercy and favor on whom he wants to have favor. So I'm not putting Yahweh Bashim Yahushua in a box, but also we have to read the totality of the scriptures where the Most High God says things like, he heareth not sinners, right? One who is committed to a life of iniquity. So if you want the comfort that the scriptures speak of, you got to put in the work. You got to put in the work, sister. You got to put in the work, brother. Straight up and down. Let's get Psalms 46 and 1. Let's get Psalms 46 and 1. It's the book of Psalms, chapter 46 and verse 1. And it reads, to the chief musician for the sons of Korah, a song upon Alamoth. Yahweh is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. Now, when you think about present, a lot of people, and we hear people say this all the time. Why y'all in the Bible? It's not the Bible days no more. And well, that worked in ancient days. Well, I don't know what damn God you serve, but my God, Yahweh, is a present help in troubles. You can call on his name, and sometimes I just call on my mind, Yahweh. Sometimes you just got to say the Most High's name. And you might be vexed with certain type of wicked thoughts. You might be vexed with depression. And it might be a hardship that you're going through. That could be financially, physically. Your body may be afflicted with certain type of ailments, right? You may be forced to be in a position or a situation that's not healthy to you, right? You may there's so many different type of situations that you might go through. And sometimes, right, oftentimes, so you don't crack or break under that pressure, you just got to call on the name of the Most High. Whether you're saying it in your mind, Yahweh, 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 or sometimes you got to physically just say it, Yahweh, 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 and chant that, and think and reflect upon the Most High, because our God is a very present help in trouble. And Jake and Eve be in many types of trouble. Many types of trouble. A lot of times too, you wait. Don't only wait until you get in trouble to call on the name of the Most High, though, too. You should be calling on the name of the Most High every day. Yahweh the water for, waking me up this morning. Hey, Yahweh the water for this food that I received. Hey, Yahweh the water that I woke up in my right mind. Yahweh the water for my children. The water for my wife. The water for, if you're a woman, my husband. Hey, the water for keeping me in this truth. You should constantly be exalting the name of Yahweh. And you don't have to all the time just be, it's not for other people all the times. And I say all the times, it's not for other people, because sometimes when you're magnifying the name of the Lord, right? Let me get this real quick. Right? Like the precept says, come let us magnify the name of the Lord together. That's one of my favorite precepts. Psalms 34 and 3-5. Oh, magnify Yahweh with me, and let us exalt his name together. Slakia. So sometimes there is a time but there is a time where you can magnify and call on the name of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai by other people. You're exalting his name together, right? Doesn't it say where 2 or 3 are gathered in his name, right? That he's there in the midst. We see that in the book of Matthew. Let me get this, Matthew 18 and 20. It's the book of Matthew, chapter 18 and verse 20. For where 2 or 3 are gathered together in my name, there am I in the midst of them. Now we know this is Yahweh Shai speaking, but we know that Yahweh Shai is speaking on behalf as well of his Father. So you can exalt the name of the Lord together, right? There's a time for that, as we see here in Psalms 34. But what the Psalms 46 and 1 is going into is a very present help in trouble. So no matter what you're going through, realize you got the strongest power, you got the most high power, right? In Hebrew, we say Allah Shadia, which means the almighty power, right? The most high power. Okay. You got to use Yahweh and call on Yahweh. And that should be comforting, knowing that no matter what you're going through, you got the most high God, right? Let's get to Psalms 30. What I want? Psalms 40 and 31. It's like Isaiah 40 and 31 is what I want. Bam. Isaiah 40 and 31. And it reads, but they that wait upon Yahweh shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with the wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary, and they shall walk and not faint. Now, when you think about an eagle, right? I'm going to get this real quick. An eagle hunting. The eagle is the top bird of this. The eagle, once again, is the top bird of prey.
With its unbelievable vision, eagles are some of the most powerful creatures on Earth. However, when it comes to hunting their prey, they are just as ruthless as they are magnificent. In today's video, we're going to look at some of the most merciless eagle hunts ever caught on camera.
See, an eagle can damn see for, I mean, like, I think, I don't want to exaggerate. Let me see this. Eagle vision distance. I think they can see for miles if I'm not. Look, an eagle can see objects like a rabbit as far from 2 or 3 miles away. So think about that. Think about the similitude of an eagle. And when an eagle hunts, to see something 2 to 3 miles away is, man, that's mind blowing. You know what I mean? I think if a person has 20/20 vision, they probably can't even see damn, I don't know, not miles. Damn sure that, Lord will let to believe. By Isaiah 40:31. So the similitude is that, remember, this doesn't say those people who lift weights all day. Hey, those people who got the most money. Hey, those people who are the most popular. It doesn't say that. It says, but they that wait upon Yahweh shall renew their strength. Oftentimes when we're going through something, right, we may be failing and becoming weaker in our mentality. And you may have lost faith. You know, sometimes you just might be damn depressed or fighting off depression, sadness. You know, you might have lost a loved one, and your household may be in shambles, and you may be homeless. You know, there's all different types of things that could be going on, right? And you just feel defeated. You know, you literally just feel defeated. But the comforting thing is that, I'm gonna get this other precept real quick as well that just came to mind, right? Because the Most High God tells us too, when you're weak, right, he's strong. So to take pleasure in your infirmities. All right, let me get this real quick. 2 Corinthians 12:10. Therefore, I take pleasure in infirmities, in reproaches, in necessities, in persecutions, in distresses, for Yahweh's sake. For when I am weak, then am I strong. You know, a lot of times when you are on the top of the world and you forget about the Most High God. You know, you got the job of your dreams that you want. You got the damn wife of your dreams, or the husband of the dreams, your so-called dreams you want. If you're a woman, right? Man on man is off. Women on women is off, right? You know, you got your bag. You got the whip that you want. You know, everything is so-called going how you want, right? Let me get this real quick. Let's get the Psalms. This Proverbs 30:8 I want, right? Peep this. Remove far from me vanity and lies. Give me neither poverty nor riches. Feed me with food convenient for me. Because sometimes when you got everything that you want, you forget about the Most High God. And you turn your back upon the Most High God because you feel that you're strong. You got your strength. But our beloved brother Paul just taught us, hey, he glorifies when he's weak, when he's going through persecutions for a Mashiach woman like Yahweh's sake. And there's a difference between being persecuted for Yahweh versus falling into temptations, or versus you damn getting smacked around by Yahweh because you damn disobedient. A lot of us are disobedient. You hard-headed, you stubborn, you wonder why your life is in shambles, you damn can't get it right, but you scared to call on the Lord. You trying everything else and it's just not working. But you're not calling on the Most High God, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Yahweh is the Most High God. We say, Bahashem Yahushai, in the name of Yahushai. So you're not utilizing the comfort, the tools, the blessing the mediator. You're not using it. Where your comfort is going to come from, you're rejecting. So, we got to realize these things and we have to pay attention to them. All right. Because if you want to renew your strength, you got to call on the name of the Lord. You got to, they say, hey, put it all on the table. Put your cards on the table. The Most High God is the one who dealt you the cards. He knows the cards you was dealt. He created the cards. Doesn't the Most High God control good and evil? Let me get this real quick. Let me get this Job 2. I think I want 2 and 12. This might be 9. Salakia. Bam, right? It's 10. Job 2 and 10. But he said unto her, thou speakest as one of the foolish women speaketh. What? Shall we receive good at the hand of God and not receive evil? Got to think about what he's saying here. Showing you straight up and down that the Most High God, he gives good, and from evil proceedeth from the Most High God, right? So don't wait until you got some strange calamity to call on the Most High God. But even in those times, he can renew your strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. When we saw what eagles do, their strength, they shall run and not be weary, and they shall walk and not faint. This is the comfort that we want, y'all. Let's get John 14 and 1. John 14 and 1. Let not your heart be troubled. Ye believe in God, believe also in me. Your heart shouldn't be troubled. Now, what does that mean? Let's go into this word trouble right here. Be troubled. To stir up trouble, right? Or to agitate, all right? You don't want to be stirring up trouble. You don't want to be just giving your mind over to heaviness, right? Every time something goes on, every time something is happening, you're everywhere. You can't think. Your mind is troubled, right? You're a wreck. You're a wreck. You're pulling out your hair. You lost your appetite. You're losing weight. You can't sleep. You got insomnia. You're just stressing out. You're doing all of these things, but guess what you don't do? You never call on the Lord. You never actually consider that the things that you're going through are because of your disobedience. It might be because of your slothfulness. It might be because you're not loyal to the Lord, right? But you're expecting the comfort, but what are you doing to receive it? And I've been in situations where you might be prideful. You might be too prideful to call on the Lord. I'm like, well, call on the Lord. He might not hear me. Or you know what? Well, I ain't called on him all this time, so I might not as well not start. No, you're a damn fool. You might as well start now. A call on the Lord, right? Let not your heart be troubled. And the heart goes into your mind, your thoughts, your innermost person, right? Your consciousness. Sometimes they say your belly. In the ancient days, they used to think your heart was in your belly, the pit of your stomach. But it's really your mind. Biblically, the heart is your mind. Let not your mind be troubled. Don't give your mind over to heaviness. That's what that is going into, right? Right? 1 second. Let me get this quick precept. You don't want to give your mind over to heaviness, right? Let me get to Sirach 30 and 21. It says, give not over thy mind to heaviness, and afflict not thyself in thy own counsel. You don't want to be sitting around having a damn pity party all day. Well, woe is me. I can't get anything right. Next thing you know, you having suicidal thoughts. Because see, demons will jump in your mind. Demons will jump in your thoughts, right? The spiritual demon, Satan, is looking to just afflict you, right? And so you want to be able to get out of that state of thinking, out of that mindset. And you got to call out to the Lord, y'all. You got to call out to Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. All right. Let's get I'm on John 14 and 27. Let's go to the 27th verse, same chapter. It's the book of John, chapter 14 and verse 27, and it reads, "Peace I leave with you, my peace I give unto you. Not as the world giveth, give I unto you. Let not your heart, which is the mind, be troubled, neither let it be afraid." So you got to believe on that, man. You got to really think. Fear is one of your worst enemies. Straight up and down. Fear is one of your worst enemies. Fear will have you not only doing stupid stuff, fear will keep you from doing the things that you need to do. Fear is one of the main culprits of procrastination. A lot of you procrastinate out of fear. You actually are afraid of the outcome of what you think might happen. Internalize that. Fear is your worst enemy. You know, even in the world, they say, what is that? I want to get this real quick. I think it's a quote that say, fear, but fear itself or something. Hold on one second. Yeah, that is what they say. It says, "Nothing to fear but fear itself," is the famous phrase from President Franklin D. Roosevelt. Damn Edomite. Hey, look, even Esau saying, "Nothing to fear but fear itself." Hey, the only thing you should fear is Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, right? That's what you should be fearing. You shouldn't fear itself. And the Most High God is the most terrible. And he's the king of terrors, right? Get this quick precept real quick. And Job. It's the book of Job, chapter 18 and verse 14. "His confidence shall be rooted out of his tabernacles, and it shall bring him to the king of terrors." And the Most High God is the king of terrors. And you got to fear Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. You got to fear Yahweh. You got to have perfect fear. And that's something that will also enable you to not have your mind troubled. Knowing that the Most High God controls all things. Knowing that the Most High God can change your situation in an instant if he wanted to. And that's comforting. You got to call on the Lord, right? Doesn't the scriptures tell us, seek the Lord while he may be found? Let me get this real quick. Right? You got to seek the Lord while he may be found. Call upon him, right? Isaiah 55 and 6. "Seek ye Yahweh while he may be found. Call ye upon him while he is near." Don't push the Lord away. That's how you get calamity, destruction, right? That's how you get confusion, death, sickness, right? Depression, anxiety, all of these different things. You gotta draw nigh unto the Lord, right? Don't he say, "Sup with me" in the book of Revelations? Revelations 3 and 20. "Behold, I stand at the door and knock." Think about that. The Most High God standing knocking at your door. And you damn looking on the Ring camera and you see it's the Most High. And you kind of shut the blinds. Hey, everybody quiet down. And you damn hiding from the Most High. Think of these similitudes. "Behold," and this is Yahweh Shai speaking. "Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If any man hear my voice and open the door." Now, what is that hearing a voice and open the door? That's hearing these precepts. That's hearkening to the words of life. That's striving for perfection. Think about Jacob and Esau. And they was bumping in the womb. Hey, Jacob came out, had Esau by the damn heel. right? And that's how we gotta be. We gotta be tussling for righteousness, right? So Yahweh Shai knocking at the door. If any man hear my voice and open the door, I will come into him and will sup with him, and he with me. And that's what you want. You want the Lord supping with you. You want the Lord breaking bread, as they say in the world. And come break bread with me. And they even use that, even in business, right? You might be going through certain type of business transactions. Hey, to close and seal the deal, sometimes they want you to come and have dinner with them, right? Come in, what they say when you to sign the contract, break bread together, and that's even in the world. So how much more us breaking this bread with Yahweh Bashem Yahushai? I want to get this Matthew 4:4 real quick, because don't get simple. But he answered and said, "It is written, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeded out of the mouth of the Most High." So another way to be comforted is through the words of life that the Most High God has sent us, right? Get this real quick, because we know his words are the words of life. Let's get this Philippians real quick. It's the book of Philippians, chapter 2 and verse 16. Holding forth the word of life, that I may rejoice in the day of Yahweh Shai, that I have not run in vain, neither labored in vain. The Most High God is not unjust to give you your reward in due time if you faint not, right? And God is not unjust. Slack it. But you can't, you got to do your part. You can't faint, right? You got to run the race with purpose. And don't get tired, right? Because the Most High God, and when I mean don't get tired, is that you might be fatigued in the flesh, but let your spirit be refreshed. Because doesn't the precept say it's the spirit of a man that will maintain him during his infirmities? It's the spirit that quickeneth, the flesh profiteth nothing. A lot of the things that we go through are because we walk according to the ways of the flesh. And you might work out every damn day, which look, bodily exercise profiteth little, but righteousness delivereth unto death, from death. You might be you focus on your diet, you focus on your working out, you focus on your damn job, all these things, but you're not building up your spirit. So you're getting tired because you're just going through the motions of the flesh. I was just telling my rib the other day, I think it was this morning, matter of fact, that like, man, every day we wake up, all praise to the Most High, we got an opportunity to do better. It's almost like you got an opportunity every day you wake up it's almost like to repeat, like you're repeating every day you wake up. You don't want to be in that spirit where you just kind of like, well, I messed up yesterday, so I'm just going to be a failure today. You got to shake that spirit off, because it's easily to give your mind over to heaviness and to be weary, man. And now you damn in a slump. Next thing you know, and you back to smoking weed. And next thing you know, you back to going to the bars and to doing all of the things, because now you're looking for comfort. When your comfort should be in Yahweh Shai. Your comfort should be, in the law, statutes, and commandments. That's where your comfort should be. But you've given your mind over to the considerations of the world. You got to think about that. You've given your mind over to consider, to put your comforts in the ways of the world. And that's not profitable, y'all. That's not profitable at all. And look, and let us not be weary in well-doing, for in due season we shall reap if we faint not. Now think about that similitude, reaping. Look at this, y'all. reapers. When you think about not the grim reapers, look, bam, farming. Reapers can refer to different concepts, including a type. We want the reapers of the field. That's what we want. And we went over this before. You know, reapers, look at them. They're reaping. They're bundling up the grain. They're bringing in the increase. And you even hear in the precepts that you shall reap what you sow. You can't get to this process of cultivating, of harvesting, if you first didn't plant those seeds and allow them to grow and to sprout up. So you got to take all of these concepts and you got to apply them. You got to apply them, man. These are spiritual similitudes. You reap what you sow, and you're going to reap in due season. You know, a lot of things in the precepts are related to agriculture and the similitudes and things of that nature, you know? So you really want to make sure that you're in the spirit to understand that, you know, you're going to reap what you sow. And the Most High God is not unjust to deliver you the things that you're deserving on, right? And that should be comforting. These are the things that should propel you to want to get closer to the Most High God. You know, I think about all the like the crazy bad relationships I've been in before I came in, you know, before all praise to the Most High. I got a pretty amazing wife now, right? But I think about in the world, like all of the crazy type of things that I committed myself to. I used to literally have a commitment that said, damn, I want to smoke an eighth of weed a day. Like that literally was like in my mind. I wake up, like, I got to go get high. It costs such and such, right? If I ain't had the money, I'd scrape it. Somehow, I damn near got an eighth every day. I was committed to that. You follow me? That wasn't profitable. You know, I think about all of, you know, you had certain relationships in your life that were just damn wicked and that were toxic. I think that's the word they say now, a toxic relationship. And I'm not just even talking about relationships on a sexual or a, you know, a so-called intimate business relationships. I literally was in a business partnership for like damn 6, 7, 8 years. That was horrible for me. Horrible. But I was so focused on, I wasn't even focused, really. I'm gonna be honest. I can't even say I was so focused. I was so lost and blind. I didn't even realize it. You know, think about all the things we commit ourselves to, the things that we give our time to, the things you dedicate your mind to. You know, I know some brothers, man, who they'll damn get up and they'll work out 20 days a week, right? But they won't keep the Shabbat. Think about that. Hey, some sisters too, you know, but they won't keep the Shabbat. They won't, man, all praise y'all about Shemiyah Shai. Let's move on. It just be a lot, y'all. It'd be a lot. All praise. It'd be a lot. I want to get this this Romans 15 and 13, right? Get this Romans. Got to be comforted in the scriptures, y'all. Romans 15 and 13, right? Get this real quick. Now the God of hope fill you with all joy and peace in believing, that ye may abound in hope through the power of the Holy Spirit. Now to abound is to increase, and not just to increase a little bit, but to increase rapidly with bounds. You know, normally you hear what they say with leaps and bounds. Like that's not just taking little steps. That's you know, what is it called? Monumental is the word I'm looking for. Increase. But you're not going to abound in hope if you don't believe. If you don't believe that the Most High God can bring you out of the condition and state that you're in, and if you commit your works unto the Most High, but you got to commit. You got to commit your works, right? I want to get this real quick. Commitment, you know, commitment. The state or quality of being dedicated to a cause, activity, etc. A lot of people got issues with commitment. You even hear people in the world say, Mella, don't do that. No, they don't say that. That was my dog's tripping. You hear a lot of people in the world say, I got commitment issues. I got commitment issues. You know why? Because they disloyal as hell. Your loyalty, if you can't think about this from a pragmatic, practical standpoint, if you can't commit to something, Shalom, call Yahbashim Shah.
Shalom, Yahbashim Shah, Barakathan. Can you hear me clear?
Khan, you pretty clear, King.
Okay, Khan.
If you can't commit to something, you got loyalty issues. You cannot be loyal and not be committed. Those are opposing characteristics. People who say they have commitment issues, most of the times they're unhappy with themselves. They can't find their self to even commit to loving themselves. How the hell can you commit to love somebody else? Think about that, y'all. Really think about that. So back to the point, though, is that, let me get this Romans again, Salakia, is that now the God of hope fill you with all joy and peace in believing, that ye may abound in hope through the power of the Holy Spirit. So in order to abound, to increase, you got to be committed. You got to make that commitment. You got to commit thy works to the Lord, and thy thoughts shall be established. And that goes back to when we was going over the precepts about the heart being the mind. If you're not ready to make that mental commitment, right? If you're not ready to make Salakia that spiritual commitment, that dedication, which then through the spirit, you're going to be renewed in the mind, and the mind is going to control your actions because you're going to control your thoughts. Then, therefore, you can begin to increase. And all of that is going to go back down to having hope that what the Most High God has told us, he's not a liar, that it's actually going to come to pass. And that's where you get the comfort in throughout your day, is knowing that all of these things that we're going through are temporary, y'all. You think this body, this little frail body, is going to last forever? It's not. But that's why in the scriptures it say, let me get this real quick. Although we wasting day by day, right? And when you think about day by day, right? Let me get this real quick. 2 Corinthians 4:16. For which cause we faint not, but though our outward man perish, yet the inward man is renewed day by day. And remember, when we was in that Psalms 46, when it talked about, that was that Isaiah 40 and 31, when it talked about the our strength being renewed like eagles. Think about that. Although the outward man is perishing, you got to have that hope that as long as you building up this spiritual man, that day by day, you're going to be renewed through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. You got something on that, King?
God, did you bring out that Sirach 30?
You got it.
Let's go Sirach chapter 30. We go 21 through 23.
God.
Sirach chapter 30.
Okay, no, you know what? I did bring this out just the first verse, but you got it.
Okay, God. Sirach chapter 30, 21 through 23. Give not over thy mind to heaviness, and afflict not thyself in thy own counsel. The gladness of the heart is the life of man, and the joyfulness of a man prolongeth his days.
God.
And like we and that's why we definitely got to come back to these scriptures, man, to get that true uplifting, man, for we can kick that depression, that heavy stress, all that worrying, man. Like people still to this day say, man, you're gonna worry yourself to death. We kind of say it so loosely, not understanding how deep that really is. Wearing yourself to death. Let's go to this next verse. It say, love thy own soul and comfort thy heart. remove sorrow far from thee, for sorrow have killed many, and there is no profit therein. See that? Sorrow has literally, like I said, we kind of loosely say, man, you're gonna wear yourself to death. Man, we seeing it right here in the scriptures with all this wisdom. It say that sorrow have killed many, and it ain't no profit. You sitting there worrying all day, ain't gonna profit nothing. You know what I mean? You have to have more faith, man. So why Christ said faith of a mustard seed, you can move mountains, man. We gotta lock in on way more faith, because a lot of time when you worry, that's your test of faith. You worrying and stress so much, you're really showing that your faith is little. And we know sometimes these things is easier said than done. You know what I mean? That's why we gotta make sure we dive right back into the scriptures, man, before we can have that comfort. All praise the Most High. You got it, brother.
We get that 1 Peter 5:7. Because comfort, man, comfort is a comforting word in itself. You know what I mean? I know that sounds kind of crazy, but when you think about something that's comforting, that's something that you can rely on, depend on. It's something that changes your state of being. You know, think about a baby. When a baby is comforted by their mom or by their father, by their parents, that baby knows that they're in care, that they're in good care, right? Comforting. And that's what we want to use the Most High for, as far as comfort, right? We want to make sure that in that, you know, comfort is a spirit as well, because you got to think about this. If you have anxiety, you're in the spirit of, you're not comforting. You're not in a comfortable position. When you have anxiety, you're frustrated, you're frantic, you know, you damn, on the edge, you uneasy. You know, people damn be shaking. You don't want to be that spiritually. You don't want to have spiritual anxiety, you know, where your spirit is always, I know people whose spirit is always damn just off. You know, they're always getting bothered by everything. They have no rest. Now we know that ultimately this isn't our ultimate rest, but you want your spirit to be able to be at peace. Think about all of our mighty forefathers and foremothers who the Most High allowed to have peace even in the midst of captivity, right? All hell is breaking loose around them. But because they got the comfort, right, of the Holy Spirit, they're at peace. So 1 Peter 5:7, casting all your cares upon him, for he careth for you. Think about that. When you cast something, right, it's damn near like you throwing it out. You know, they used to say this old earthly proverb, like, cast the baby out with that bath water. I mean, like, they throw the baby out with the bath water, right? Which is off. We get it. But the similitude, though, when you're casting, even think about if you fishing, I think they call it, you cast the line. You follow what I'm saying? You got to cast all of your cares upon Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, because he careth for you. And that's comforting to know. It's a lot of people who go in throughout day in and day out who they don't have nobody who they feel care for them. You know, I think about even a lot of people who might have grown up in like foster homes or foster systems, or, you know, who had to be adopted or might be an orphan, or, you know, even a lot of people as they get older, they never really had true love. They never had people who care for them and things of that nature, you know? And that's why they get into gangs or, you know, whatever it may be, that drugs that they have as an outlet to being able to cope with the situations that they're going through. But we got to realize the ultimate coping mechanism is for us to cast our cares upon the Most High. You got it, King.
All praises. Let's go to Proverbs 17:22. But grab that in the GNT for me. Proverbs 17:22 in GNT. Proverbs 17:22 in the GNT. Being cheerful keeps you healthy. It is slow death to be gloomy all the time. You don't want to be that person, man, always just in a slump, always just sad and just over worried about every single thing, man. You want to be cheerful, man. You know what I mean? You want that comfort. You want to have faith that we read in Romans 8:28 that all things work together for good for them that fear God. You got to have that type of faith. Can't walk around here all sad and gloomy all the time. It's a slow death. We just read in the other scripture, man, hey, that type of mindset have killed many. That's why we got other scriptures that tell us death and life is in the power of the tongue. You got to speak these good things into existence, man, with that faith, though, knowing that the Most High, got you if you doing what you're supposed to do. You know what I mean? So we definitely got to get out that sorrowful spirit. And we know when it comes to Israel, man, we battle with the depression and stress at an all-time high because we in this captivity. We know that so much stuff is against us out here in this world, that it is tougher for us to get things that other people is easier for them to get. But we still got to make sure we lock in on that faith. And that's going to bring that comfort, Lord willing. You know what I mean? You got it, though, brother.
God, comfort, man. And I want to get this 2 Timothy 1:7 in the Amplified. For God did not give us a spirit of timidity or cowardice or fear. When you think about cowardice, nobody wants to be a coward. You don't want your spirit to be in a constant state where you're damn afraid and you have no courage, right? But he hath given us a spirit of power and of love and of sound judgment and personal discipline, abilities that result in a calm, well-balanced mind and self-control. If your mind is out of balance, if you're frantic, you're not going to have self-control because you're going to be going off of this impulsive behavior. Look, impulsive behavior refers to actions taken without care, thought, or consideration of potential consequences, right? It is characterized by acting quickly, ignoring consequences, difficulty controlling impulses. You don't want to be moving off of impulses, right? Just sudden, you don't want to be moving off the impulse of fear. You're moving off the impulse of anxiety, of worry. All of these different things don't give you a sound mind, a well-balanced mind, because you're moving off of impulses in your flesh, emotions, right? Fear is a lot of people don't know this, right? Look, fear is an emotion. Yes, fear is a fundamental human emotion, often described as an unpleasant feeling or apprehension in response to a perceived threat or danger. A lot of times you acting off of fears, they're perceived fears. What is a perceived fear? It means it might not even happen. It's your mind, you're worrying. You're literally conjuring up a situation and you're placing stress upon yourself for a situation that might not even come to pass. So we got to realize these emotions and we got to realize how to get over them and how to conquer them and how to put our true fear in the Most High, who will bring us comfort. You got it, King.
God. And let's go to Nahum 1:7. The book of Nahum, chapter 1 and verse 7. And it says, the Lord Yahweh is good, a stronghold in the day of trouble, and he knoweth them that trust in him. So you got to understand, having that faith in your day of trouble and whatever you're worried and stressed about, man, know that the Most High is a stronghold. But another key part is this, is he knoweth them that trust in him. It's the Most High we talking about. He know if you doubting. Y'all got to catch that. He know if you truly trust in him in whatever situation you're going through or you think it's all about you. So a lot of times people don't know, man, you subconsciously get to doubting the Lord. maybe this might be too strong. You might not be saying this verbatim, but the way you moving, the way you acting, this is what you're saying. Well, maybe he can't do this one for me, or I might have to figure out how to do this on my own. Got to know you're doing that with your actions, especially when you're so stressed and worried so much, so anxious. All that anxiety, man, we got to kick that and make sure we start to trust in the Lord and truly trust in him. And he know it. You can't fool him. You got to understand that you can fool yourself, you can fool people. You can't fool the Most High. So he know who really put their trust in him, and he know who doubting him. That's crazy when you think about it, though, to doubt the Most High over some type of earthly situation. You got to think about that, man. You got it, though, brother.
Yeah, that's crazy, though, because it's one of them situations where it's like you doubting the Most High over a fleshly, earthly situation, but the Most High created the flesh and the earth. This is wild, man.
Crazy, though. And like I said, we do it subconsciously a lot. Like I said, somebody might be like, I don't be saying that. And you might not boldly say it. Actions speak louder than words.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
God, actions definitely speak louder than words. I'm going to get this real quick. Psalms 24 and 1 through 3. The earth is Yahweh's and the fullness thereof, the world and they that dwell therein. For he hath founded it upon the seas and established it upon the floods. Who shall ascend into the hill of the Lord Yahweh? Or who shall stand in his holy place? How can you exalt a situation over the Most High? The Most High created the earth. The Most High created and controls all people that are in the earth. So it's like if you have what I've seen a lot in the truth is too, people, when it comes to their employment situation, a lot of people stress over their job. Well, you know what? Man, I can't, my boss, he ain't gonna let me get the Sabbath off. I just know he won't. Like, do you not realize the Most High God created your boss? The Most High God gave you that job. The Most High God gave that job the job. The Most High God created that company. Like, you fearful of asking your boss to give you the day off, to take the Shabbat, and you damn stressing out of what you're gonna do. But the Most High God created all that. You don't think that the Most High God is gonna show you favor? You know, so it's like a lot of situations that we go through is really like self-afflicted anxiety, self-afflicted doubt, self-afflicted disbelief. You know, you afflict these things upon yourself, and then you put yourself, it's I'm gonna get this real quick. Remind me of this one, this statement: putting on a pedestal. That's how you spell it? Pedestal. How you spell that? Look, it's what a lot of the times. This is what a lot of things that we do. To put someone on a pedestal is an idiom meaning to admire or idealize someone to an excessive degree, viewing them as nearly perfect or faultless. Often, look, this is the point, often to an unrealistic or healthy extent. This behavior stems from a desire to magnify a person's importance and can lead to unrealistic expectations for both the admirer and the person being idealized. Man, a lot of y'all put what's the name on a pedestal, y'all? Y'all put your jobs on a pedestal, and you put your significant other on a pedestal. You put your children on a pedestal. You put your situation on a pedestal above the Most High. And you think that whatever it is that you're putting on a pedestal is ultimately has the ultimate decision over your happiness, right? Over the condition of your well-being. But that's all unrealistic. We got to put the Most High on such a high pedestal. We got to put the Most High on the most high pedestal, right? And realize that he is the Most High. There's nobody that's going to be able to take you out of his hands. If you committing your works to the Lord, and even if he's putting you through trials and tribulations, right? He's going to give you that expected end. You got it, King.
God. You gotta believe that. Definitely gotta lock in on that faith for that expected end, man. Let's go 2 Corinthians chapter 1. Let's go 3 through 7. I'll read a few verses on here. 2 Corinthians chapter 1, 3 through 7. And real quick, can you click Strongs from that?
God.
Let's go ahead and get this out the way. Let's go to that comfort. Down there in the Strongs, that word comfort. I see that. That's Strong's G3874. Now go back, because when we see this word consolation in the English, so they can see that that's the same word. That consolation.
Where you want that at? Oh, right here. Okay, got you.
I see that 3874. Same thing. So, you might see comfort, then it says consolation, same thing. So it's talking about this comfort. So let's go ahead. Let's read this 2 Corinthians 1, chapter 1. We're going to read 3 through 7. And it starts off and say, "Blessed be God, even the Father of our Lord, Mashiach Yahushai, the Father of mercies, and the God of all comfort." All praise to the Most High. Say, "Who comfort us in all our tribulation, that we may be able to comfort them which are in any trouble, by the comfort wherewith we ourselves are comforted of God." And that's another thing we got to do more too with each other. When people come in with strength, man, you got to be able to comfort your brother, man, and your sister.
God.
And man, a lot of times people don't even got enough time to give somebody that ear. Sometimes some people just want to vent to you. You can't even do that for somebody. Well, I'm busy. You know what I mean? You can't even hear your brother and sister out for 20 minutes. You cutting them off in the middle. You want to give them your troubles. They ain't even finished telling you about their problems. You cut off, yeah, well, you know what I've been going through. Hey, man, be the one that's about to comfort them. You know what I mean? We got to understand just how we get comforted through the scriptures, and the Most High using people to comfort us. And it all goes back to the Most High. We got to be them same people that know how to comfort our brothers and sisters when they come to us. Even when they don't come to you, man, you see somebody countenance low, hey, ask them what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Remind me of counsel time, be loving, though, all praise to the Most High. Hey, the brothers sometimes be talking to somebody, hey, man, you need a hug. Nehemiah, you tell them how many times people end up just crying after you give them that hug.
Man.
Sometimes that's all they needed was just a hug, man, some type of comfort, man. That's some type of people we supposed to be. Don't forget, that Deuteronomy said, the man that was tender among you and very delicate. You know what I mean? Let's keep reading. And say, "For as the sufferings of Christ abound in us, so our consolation also abounded by Christ." Like, so just know, just how we suffered through following Christ, we also get comfort through that as well. Right? Look, verse 6. "And whether we be afflicted, it is for your consolation and salvation." Remember that your affliction is for your comfort and salvation, which is effectual in the enduring of the same sufferings which we also suffer. Or whether we be comforted, it is for your consolation and salvation. Remember that, man. And remember, I'll be thinking about that song and say, nobody told me that the road was going to be easy. I don't believe he brought me this far to leave me. I think that's a little Christianity type song, but think about those words, man. I understand you're going to go through tribulation. You're going to go through these things, affliction and things like that. But no, you got to have even comfort in that, knowing it's for your comfort in salvation. I'll finish with verse 7. "And our hope of you is steadfast, knowing," you see that? You got steadfast, knowing that as ye be partakers of the sufferings, so shall you be also of the consolation. Now, see that? That's comfort in itself, just reading that, though. You know what I mean? Like, remember that. Just like you partakers of that suffering, man, and you also going to be partakers of that comfort, man. All praise to the Most High. You got it, brother.
God, and that's comforting. Hey, comfort is comforting.
God.
You know, so some people put that comfort in Southern comfort, right? You got to get your comfort in Yahweh. Let's get this.
Praises.
These are all praises. Romans 8:18. Future glory. For I consider that the sufferings of this present time are not worth comparing with the glory that is to be revealed to us. Now, when you think about something being a non-comparable comparison, is like I can't even fix my mind to think that they're going to be on any of the same level. Non-comparable. So whatever we going through now in this present day and age, man, it's not, you could go through so much suffering and trials and tribulations, man, it's not comparable to the reward that we're going to receive if we are part of that number. The glory, right? That is to be revealed to us. You got to harp on that, right? You really try to internalize that. The glory that is to be revealed to us. When you think about something being revealed, it's uncovered. So that means all of the promises that we already know, we still don't know the fullness of it, right? So in the prophecies and the descriptions and all of the precepts and information that we have on what the kingdom is going to be like, there's still so much more to be revealed to us. So you got to think about that, and that has to be something that you strive for, man. That alone should be enough, Lord willing, to get you over the hump. You're like, well, you know what? I'm going through such and such, but man, if I just endure, if I can overcome to get the kingdom, think about that. It's going to be like, what's that precept that says like a twinkling of an eye? And the last trump is going to be like the twinkling of an eye, and we all going to be changed. Think about that. Like blink. Literally try to internalize this. Think about when you blink. You blink so fast, you can't even consciously know you just blinked. It's like the speed of a blink. It's like the twinkling of an eye. We're going to all be changed. Glorious bodies, not having sickness. Every tear of sadness, sorrow be wiping away. Not able to die, right? Abundant, exceeding joy. Think about these things. That's the future glory that we hoping for. So these little things that we go through now, damn car broke down. Hey, my child is out of order. Hey, my relationship is in shambles. I just got fired from my job. I got gout in my left toe. Whatever it is, it's not nothing compared to what we got to look and to hope for, man. And that got to be comforting, y'all. You got it, King.
God. Praises, man. Let's go back to 1 Corinthians. Let's go to chapter 10. We'll start at 11. We go 11 through 13. 11 through 13, man. Probably could throw that 14 in there too, for real.
God.
The 2 Corinthians chapter 10. Go 11 through 14. Huh?
I was saying first.
1 Corinthians chapter 10.
You want a second?
No, 1 Corinthians chapter 10.
Oh, praise
11 through 14.
Bam. There we go.
Okay, the water.
Ayana bar.
God now say, now all these things happen unto them for examples, which goes into example, as they are written for our admonition, upon whom the ends of the world are come. And that kind of, you go earlier in the chapter, kind of got going into us tempting the Lord and murmuring and all that. All that stuff is written to really turn us up, man. We got to see them type of things, but like, you don't want to go into that. And that's what we kind of be doing too with all that worrying, and you get to complaining and murmuring and all that, man. That you got to get away from that, man. All them things is written for us, right? For our learning. Now, verse 12. Wherefore, let him that thinketh he standeth take heed, lest he fall. There have no temptation taken you, but such as is common to man. Let's stop reading right there, because a lot of times we get beside ourselves like we the only ones going through this type of pain and struggle. Like the brother was going through like relationship problems at your car, whatever. It's just so much on me. I can't believe, you know what I mean? I can't believe I'm going through this. Hey, man, ain't nothing taking you that's not common to man. We all go through a lot of different troubles, man. All of us, all Israel. It say, Salakia, but God is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that ye are able. Got to be thankful for that. He's not going to tempt you more than he know that you're able. Let's keep going. But will with the temptation also make a way to escape, that ye may be able to bear it. Y'all see that? That's beautiful. He said, hey, even with the things that's going on, he's going to give you a way to escape it. You be able to bear it. And a lot of times we come to this truth, we ain't never knew what this scripture is at. We just always heard it. You ain't gonna put on more than you can bear.
Okay.
A lot of people love saying that. I remember hearing that since a child growing up, always hearing that. I remember finally bumping to the scripture, like, oh, that's where they got this from. You know what I mean? It's beautiful though. And we gotta understand that too, though. Because like I said, a lot of times you act like it's just you, man. A lot of Israel going through, and sometimes, for real, you really gotta check yourself, because it be people going through way worse stuff than you going through. Like you think you're the only one going through your problem? Man, somebody that got a way worse problem than you, and and I hate to say this, take it in the right way, you would love to trade problems if you could. You know what I mean?
Places.
Yeah, because people going through way worse. They hear your little problem and be like, man, I love to have that problem instead of this problem. You crying over that problem. Hey, come over here to this. You wouldn't want that. You know what I mean? And he also, all praise, give you a way to bear it. Then 14, just threw that in there and say, wherefore, my dearly beloved, flee from idolatry. Look how I kind of transition to that. Like, hey, man, you could be dancing with idolatry too, with some of this stuff. You know what I mean? Now we know the context can start to shift, but look right after that and say, wherefore, my dearly beloved, flee from idolatry. And sometimes you got so much trust in man and everything is about man, you kind of get into idolatry, if y'all see what I'm saying. Trust ain't really in the Lord. It's about man. It's about your boss, or, you know what I mean? All your trust. Well, sometimes I hope he have a good heart. You don't even pray in the right order. Lord, put the right spirit on my boss not to fire me. You kind of putting it all in your boss' hands. Like he's all authority. Like the Most High don't control him. You see what I'm saying?
Almost like the Most High God is controlled by your boss.
Yeah, you got all your faith and everything is in man instead of the Creator. So, hey, flee from idolatry as well. That's why we just threw that in. Like I said, we know how the context can change, but hey, that's right there next, bro. I had to throw that in there too, man. To keep it on your mind that when your trust ain't in the Lord, a lot of times your trust is in man, and that can get to idolatry. You put man over the Most High. You got it, brother.
And it was, man, I was trying to find this video. It was an off video I saw on TikTok a couple weeks back. Popped in my timeline. It was a brother. His brother was tripping, man. Brother's talking about, you know, God. He like, God, I know you say you give your battles to your toughest soldier, but I ain't asked for this shit. He like, I ain't tough as you think I am. Like, he was
hell going on.
Hey, he was clowning though, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's what it's about. We gotta be in the right spirit. I want to grab this too. This is another precept that you heard this all growing up, and it hit home real when you get older, right? It's Isaiah 54:17. No weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper, and every tongue that shall rise against thee in judgment, thou shalt condemn. The Most High God can even give you the wisdom and the wittiness to confound people who are spreading gossip, lies. Because a lot of times too, you know, you might be stressed because of something, that a rumor that somebody spread it about you, or you know, it might be a false accusation. You know, now you're all worried that, okay, man, this get out, it's not real, whatever it may be. This is the heritage of the servants of Yahweh, and their righteousness is of me, saith Yahweh. Now, peep this. It's the heritage of the servants of Yahweh. So if you want to be able to go back to this, no weapon forming against you shall prosper, you got to do the work, though, to qualify. Like when we was going into prerequisites, you literally have to, there's a pre-qualifying quality and a pre-qualifying action that you must do in order to receive, you know, the benefits of these precepts, right? And the thing about it is, when you think about no weapon formed against me that shall prosper, this even goes into weapons that you form against yourself. A lot of us, man, we are our own worst enemies. You literally will beat yourself up and put yourself in a situation that you ain't even really have to be in. And then won't even call on the Lord once you realize, you know, what you did or the situation that you in. So we definitely got to keep these things in mind and meditate upon these precepts. Write these precepts down. Take a couple of them and memorize them. Memorize them. Even if you got to paraphrase them in your memory. So when you come into certain situations, you got to use these to remind yourself. And this is why in that Matthew 4:4, when he says, when Yahweh said, man shall not live off bread alone, you got to feed your spirit constantly with these precepts. So get you a couple, get you three, take three from these list of precepts we went through. Take three, take four, memorize them. Once you get them memorized, take another 3 or 4, memorize them. Next thing you know, you got an arsenal of precepts to help comfort you, to help fight these certain battles that you're going through, anxieties, depressions, all of these things. You battle them with this arsenal of precepts. So no weapon formed against you shall prosper, because you got weapons to fight back against those weapons that's trying to prosper against you. You got it, King.
God. Let's go to Psalms 34. Let's go 17. Matter of fact, let's get that 7 real quick while we're in that chapter 2. But I'm going to go 17 through 19 after that. But let's get that verse 7 real quick. Speaking on something, like you said, that pre-qualification, that'd be key too. Because sometimes people be stressed and worried, and sometimes want to kind of almost blame the Lord, like, why I didn't cry out and prayed and it still ain't nothing happened. Or you cried and prayed and it don't work in your favor. That's why when you pray, you got to pray that too, and have your humbleness of his will. Because just because you prayed for it and you wanted to go that way, don't mean it's in your best interest to even go that way. You thinking that, but you got to believe that all things work together for good at them that fear God, them that love God. So you got to think, if he shut that door that you wanted open, that don't mean, you know, you wanted it open. That don't mean that was the best thing for you. The Lord knows best for you. And sometimes too, it was just your punishment too, though. Yeah, the Lord ain't opened that door. Guess what? That's some of your punishment, some of your judgment. We have to examine ourselves with that too. So let's read this Psalms 34:7. It say, the angel of the Lord encampeth round about them that fear him and delivereth them. So we got to understand, let's go to that pre-qualification. It don't just say the angel of the Lord camped around anybody. It say them that fear him. And then he delivereth you. He keep them angels around the people that fear him. So if you're going off and so forth and so on, you can't just expect the Lord to be your genie and just do what you want. Like, I prayed and cried out and I didn't get delivered. Hey, your fear probably wasn't where it needed to be at. You might be getting a judgment, man. You might have had a bad month. You ain't been doing no studying. You keep falling short on all type of things, willfully sinning. and you kind of going crazy, and then you wondering why that door got shut on you, even though you prayed night and day. You go and, well, I didn't get the job, and I prayed how, and my car didn't get fixed, and I've been doing all that praying how this, and now you mad. It'd be a pre-qualification too. That's why you examine yourself. And also, when you examine yourself, don't try to turn it into, well, now that I kept this commandment, now your hand out. You gotta watch that too. You know, well,
right.
I feel like I've been getting punished because I have just been breaking the Sabbath every week. I'm gonna keep the Sabbath this week. Now Sunday morning, your hand out. I kept the Sabbath, Lord. Where's my money? Hey, the Lord don't owe you no money for keeping the Sabbath, man. You know what I mean? You gotta watch it, man. It'd be crazy like that. But always,
look, it ain't even sundown yet, and you lucky.
you expecting a phone call, and you like, the job still hasn't called me yet, and I kept the Sabbath. What's going on? You know what I mean? Like, hey, you know, it don't work like that either, man. It's not a genie. You know what I mean? But just remember, these things be having that pre-qualification, man. And you read it say them that fear him. So sometimes instead of being stressed and worried, you're going through some stuff, examine yourself and keep it real with yourself. Like, man, you know what? I ain't really been turning up though. So I don't even know why I expect all this right now. Why do I expect all these blessings to rain down on me? And I know I ain't been turning up for the Lord. You know what I mean? Let's go down in that same chapter. Let's go down to 17 through 19. You know what I mean? And that 17 kicks off with this too. It say, the righteous cry, and the Lord Yahweh heareth, and delivereth them out of all their troubles. It didn't say just anybody cry. The righteous cry. Now watch 18. The Lord Yahweh is nigh unto them, which means near unto them that are of a broken heart, and saveth such as be of a contrite spirit. Now that contrite goes into like a crushed spirit. And we know that's what a lot of us be going through. Your spirit just be down, just be crushed. You got to understand, he saveth such that has that spirit on them. Watch this, 19. Many are the afflictions of the righteous. Once again, many are the afflictions of the righteous, but the Lord Yahweh delivereth him out of all of them. So like it, delivereth him out of them all. Same thing, right? But understand that many are the afflictions of the righteous. You're going to go through things. And you have to understand that too, because a lot of times people think now that they're keeping some commandments now and got faith that they shouldn't go through nothing. Right? They say many are the afflictions of the righteous. But but you got to understand the Most High, Yahweh, will deliver you out of all of them. You got to believe that. Oh, praise. You got it, brother.
God, all praises. Oh, man, I'm going to get this, follow with this, let me back. Sirach 2:1. My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. It's going into what the brother was just bringing out, that, man, when you come into this truth, you got to be looking for temptation. Like, you know, it's kind of like, okay, dang, I'm in it. It's almost like going in a boxing ring and not looking to get hit. It's like you in a boxing match with damn Floyd Mayweather, and you thinking that he not gonna throw a punch. You're in a boxing match. You better have your guard up. So when you come in to serve the Lord, you better have your guard up and prepare yourself for temptation, right? It says, set thy heart aright, that's your mind. Have your mind in the condition, in the mind frame where you're being aware. Okay, hold on. Look, I know I'm striving for righteousness. I know wicked don't want me to be righteous. So let me have my guard. Let me have my spiritual guards up. Let me be aware what's going on. Okay, all right. See that? Damn. Then you can start peeping, because a lot of tribulations and trials and things come because you're not aware of the condition of the spiritual warfare and the battle that you're going through. Soon as the Most High put on your spirit and you make that decision to come to this side, You got to think it's a host of wicked angels whose job is to try to, hey, like we brought out, be that lion spirit to go. You know, and you better hope they don't prevail. Set thy heart aright and constantly endure, and make not haste in time of trouble. Cleave unto him, cleave unto the Lord, and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end. So at that last end goes into a couple folds. One fold is that at the right when you think that you can't take no more, hey, the Most High come and save you out of all your troubles. That's one fold of the last end. The other fold of the last end is, hey, in the end times, you know, we gonna get the kingdom. You're gonna be increased. You might have went through all type of hell on earth, but you didn't break. The Most High, and a lot of times that goes to praying to the Most High to give you the right spirit. You know, like praying for that spirit of endurance. Lord, give me the spirit to endure. Give me the spirit to continue to fight. Because it's one thing to have the spirit to fight, but you might fight once and now you might kind of backslide. You want that endurance. And you think about, you know, I want to get this real quick. I think it's called high frequency training. I think that's what it's called. Yeah, right here. Look, high frequency training involves exercising a muscle group multiple times per week, as such as 3 to 5 times, to increase overall weekly volume and promote faster gains in strength and muscle growth by improving motor leaning and reducing fatigue per session, because you're taking high reps, you know, that high frequency, you expediting the process. This is how we got to be in building our spirit. You got to ask the Most High, look, hey, test me, try me. You follow what I'm saying? Because the more times that you go through these trials and tribulations and you passing these tests, the more faith that you build in the Yahweh Shem Yahushua. So when that new test come up, you're not so quick to fall victim to, you know, the ways it's going to pull you back into the backslide. You got it, King.
God. Oh, praises, man. Let's go to this Matthew 21. And let's start at 19. Let's go 19 through 22. So we get a little bit of the context, a little bit of this account. Matthew 21, we start at 19. We can go through 22. And it say, and when he saw a fig tree in the way, he came to it and found nothing thereon but leaves only, and said unto it, let no fruit grow on these henceforth forever. And presently the fig tree withered away. And when the disciples saw it, they marveled, saying, how soon is the fig tree withered away? They kind of made like, he just said this and then it withered away. They looking at all that power, right? Now watch this. Yahushua answered and said unto them, verily I say unto you, if ye have faith and doubt not. Once again, if ye have faith and doubt not, ye shall not only do this which is done to the fig tree, but also if ye shall say unto this mountain, be thou removed, and be thou cast into the sea, it shall be done. In all things whatsoever ye shall ask in prayer, believing, ye shall receive. So when you think about the stressing in the worrying, a lot of times they go to doubt. You didn't pray for it and you still doubting. That's crazy when you think about it. You didn't pray, cried out to the Lord about it, and you still doubt. And you keeping commandments, Lord willing, and you keeping the faith in Mashiach Yahushai, but you don't have faith in the things to be done. Got to catch that. He said, look, if you have faith and doubt not, he like, look, you not only what I just did at this fig tree, hey man, you be able to move a mountain. And we know going into a spiritual thing of a mountain is a lot of these obstacles in our way. You know what I mean? Like these big problems we got is like a mountain to us. It's hard to get past. Think of how big that mountain be. It don't be easy just to walk around a mountain. You know what I mean?
Not at all.
You be needing that mountain move. Like, man, I can't get it right. Hey, let's move this mountain. And that also goes spiritually into these things we be all stressed and worried about. But the key is, man, you can't be doubting either, man. You got faith and say, doubt not. It shall be done. Then it say, whatever you ask in prayer, look right after that and say, believing. They ain't say just ask. You got to believe. Then it say, ye shall receive. You got it, brother.
Con. We'll wrap up with a couple precepts. I'll bring out this one.
You can land. You can land after you can finish it off with this, Lord willing.
Con. We're gonna grab this. This is a classic right here. This Psalms 55 and 22. Short and to the point. Cast thy burdens upon Yahweh, and he shall sustain thee. He shall never suffer the righteous to be moved. He ain't say that the righteous ain't gonna go through stuff, but to be moved. And that goes back to like that mountain. You know what I'm saying? The Most High God will give you the faith to be able to move things, but he ain't gonna allow you to be destroyed. Right? You know? But go ahead, King. Bring out a closing.
Okay, Con. Let's go to we'll probably bring this out in a GNT. Ordered that Isaiah. One second, Baba Kashai. I think it's 45. It's 40. Isaiah chapter 40. 28 and 29. We'll bring that out in GNT. God, look, Isaiah chapter 40. We're going to read 28 and 29 in GNT. Don't you know? Haven't you heard? Hey, we always had to stop, though, because we think of our new slang we be having now, man. Hey, our forefathers have been had the slang. Because you got to think how we be like, man, you ain't know? You know, thinking that tone, like, boy, what's wrong with you? You ain't know this?
God.
Like, what's wrong with you? You ain't heard? You feel me? Like, you don't know, you ain't heard that the Lord Yahweh is the everlasting God. He created all the world. He never grows tired or weary. Like, hey, the Most High don't get tired. You know what I mean? Look, no one understands his thoughts. He strengthens those who are weak and tired. And we think about this stress, man, and in this world, man, we be weak and sick and tired, man. Yeah, I think people get up, they dread getting up, going to work, and so forth and so on, man. You be weak and tired, man, but the Most High can give you that strength, man. You ain't know, you ain't heard. We talking about the creator of the heavens and earth, man. He don't get weak or get tired, so he can strengthen you. He can give you that strength, man, to keep going and to have that better state of mind, to have that sound mind. You know what I mean? No fear, no worry, and give you that comfort that you need, man, to get through your days, man, to endure. Yeah, I think you need strength to endure. So he strengthened. Hey, as soon as you weak and feel like you about to give up, hey, the Most High can replenish you. You know what I mean? You know how they be trying to act like Gatorade, kind of get you back and going, electrolytes, you know. Hey, the Most High gonna replenish you, man, and give you that strength you need to endure to the end.
That's comforting. If that ain't comforting, then what is? You know what I'm saying?
Oh, praises, man.
The creatine ain't gonna give it to you.
And none of them supplements gonna give you that strength to endure to the end, man. You know what I mean? So all praise to the Most High. Yeah, we in that, y'all, giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, man. We hope that was edifying for everybody. We hope y'all got some comfort, man. Lock them scriptures in, man. You know what I mean? And Habatha to Israel, man. We're going to sign off, man. It's Brother Sirach from O.F.I.
Khan, Brother Nehemiah. Call Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. Kwam Yashala.
Kwam Yashala.